Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Canadian COVID-19 Forum, where we will discuss how to safely and effectively and quickly move Canada out of this pandemic. My name is Dr. Bonnie Millard, and I'm Professor of Immunogenetics here in the province of Ontario. The main goal for this forum is to talk with expert panelists from across this country about how we can move forward after 14 months of restrictions and lockdowns. We know how difficult this has been on Canadians. We want to bring light to alternative strategies that maybe have not been thoroughly discussed with the Canadian public. Our expert panel of medical doctors and researchers are from across the country or have affiliations within Canada. This group has been deeply thinking about these issues for many months and has really dedicated their lives to understanding SARS-CoV-2 better. The opinions that they express here during this forum represent their own opinions and do not necessarily reflect that of their institutions or their employers. The idea of this open forum arose when we saw letters to the Premier of Alberta and Saskatchewan and their chief medical officers inviting them to an open forum discussion of the issues relating to COVID-19. We thought it was a good idea to follow suit, and so we invited Premier Doug Ford and his chief medical officer, Dr. David Williams, to an open panel discussion where we could exchange ideas and learn from each other. We wanted to do this in front of the Canadian public so that they could get a better understanding of all sides of this issue. Unfortunately, the Premier of all three provinces declined our offer. And of course, we were very disheartened by this. And we still wanted to bring something to the Canadian people. And so that's how this webinar came into existence. We thought there was still an opportunity to have our panelists join in a discussion of some alternative strategies. And some of the topics that we'll discuss here tonight are the topics that we included in our letter to the Premier. And they include such things as combination treatments that have been used in other countries effectively and have also been used by some of our doctors here in Canada to reduce hospitalizations and prevent deaths. We also want to talk to you about natural immunity. Who is immune? Because that's the goal, is to get as many people as possible immune to this virus or treated effectively if they catch the virus. We also want to discuss vaccination of children for COVID. What are the pros and cons of that? And you'll learn more about that this evening. We also wanted to hear from Canadians. And so over the last few days, we've invited Canadians to send in their questions and comments so that we could address them here. We're glad to have a moderator with us today, and that's Stephanie Stein, and she's a journalist. And she will introduce the panelists to you and help field the questions. We hope you find the discussion today informative, interesting, and educational, and maybe give you a perspective that you haven't had before as Canadians. The goal, of course, is safely, effectively, but speedily to move us forward out of this pandemic. So without any further delay, I'll turn it over to the moderator, and I wish you a good evening.